Sometimes you wake up and feel like something doesn't fit, as if the life you're living isn't really yours. You can't pinpoint exactly when you stopped choosing, but you know that at some point, you did. Or maybe you never did. Maybe you've always been carried by the current, accepting what was given to you, following paths that others laid out for you. And now you're here, with the weight of all those choices you never made pressing down on your chest, like a burden you never asked for, but carry with you every day. It's not that you're unhappy, or maybe you are, but that doesn't even matter as much as the fact that you simply don't feel like you belong in this place, in this life, in this version of yourself that was built on choices that weren't yours. And the worst part is, you don't even know if you still have the power to choose, or if that right has slipped through your fingers like sand in a clenched fist, because the inertia of the years becomes a wall higher and harder to climb with each passing moment. And the longer you wait, the more you wonder if maybe it's already too late to change anything. You think about those moments when you could have said no, the times when you could have taken a different path, that career you chose because it was the right thing to do, that relationship you stayed in because it seemed logical, that job you accepted because it was what was available. And at some point, you convinced yourself that those decisions were yours, that you had chosen with full awareness. But deep down, was that really the case? Or did you just settle into the idea that there was no other option? Jean-Paul Sartre spoke about bad faith, the self-deception people fall into to avoid taking responsibility for their own freedom. Because freedom, paradoxically, is terrifying. It's easier to think that you never had another choice, that fate or society decided for you, that circumstances pushed you here and all you did was follow the natural flow of events. You cling to the comfort of the familiar, to the script written by others, because taking the reins would mean accepting that you always could have, and that out of fear or resignation, you didn't. And admitting that is terrifying because it forces you to realize that maybe you've been your own jailer all along. Sartre believed that human beings are condemned to be free. There is no predetermined destiny, no external force deciding our lives. We are responsible for every choice, even those we don't make. And that responsibility can be suffocating, because it means there are no excuses, no justifications that free us from the weight of our own existence. Bad faith protects us from that anguish, allowing us to hide behind circumstances, other people's expectations, and imposed norms. It makes us believe we're just fulfilling a role, that there's no alternative. But there always is. Not assuming your freedom is also a choice. Choosing resignation, choosing conformity, choosing to live a life that doesn't fulfill you is, ultimately, a decision. A decision that repeats itself every day. You choose to stay the same. Sartre saw it clearly. There is no escape from freedom because even denying it is an act of choice. And while that freedom may feel like an unbearable weight, it is also the only real possibility for transformation. The weight of unmade choices is strange. It's not the usual regret of someone who made a mistake and wants to go back. It's something deeper, something entangled with the essence of who you are. It's the feeling that you didn't get lost along the way, but rather that you never took your own path. As if you had been a spectator in your own story, watching someone else pull the strings of your destiny while you clapped along in resignation. And the most unsettling part is that many times, you didn't even realize it. You thought you were free, that you were choosing, when in reality, you were just following a script you never questioned. And now you ask yourself, what if? But that question is a slow poison, an endless spiral that leads only to more emptiness. Because the truth is, there is no answer. You can't know how your life would have been if you had been braver, more rebellious, more true to your own desires. You can't see the invisible forks in the road you never took. You can only see what is, what exists, and the feeling of being trapped in a structure you didn't build with your own hands. And there lies the paradox. You have been the one holding up that structure, reinforcing its walls with every excuse, with every resignation, with every "I can't" you repeated until you believed it. Sometimes, you fantasize about escaping, about breaking everything, leaving it behind, and starting over. But fear is a cruel warden, one that has been fed by years of conformity and resignation. It whispers that it's too late, that you don't know how, that you have no plan, that you lack the strength. And worst of all, that maybe you don't even deserve a second chance. It convinces you that any attempt at change would be futile, that every alternative path is closed to you, that if you had wanted something different, you should have done it sooner. And so, you remain still, not because you don't want to move, but because the weight of all those unmade choices has built an invisible wall around you. You look at it, run your hands along its surface, search for a crack, an opening through which to escape. But the truth is, there is no wall. There's only fear, doubt, inertia. It's like being chained to an idea, to the belief that it's already too late. But Sartre was right. Human beings are condemned to be free, and that condemnation comes with an undeniable truth. You can choose, you can change, not without difficulty, not without facing everything you've been, but you can. Because maybe the real prison isn't the life you're living, but the idea that you can never change it. Maybe the true chains aren't your circumstances, but your own mind convincing you that there are no open doors. But what if there are? What if there always have been? Maybe the only real question is whether you will finally dare to walk through them. Change is a door that only you can open, but will you have the courage to do it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt trapped in a life you didn't choose? Do you believe there's still time to change? If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. And if you want to keep exploring these ideas, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next reflections. See you in the next one.